All right, so we're getting into Unit 5, Section 3 practice, and I've already kind of color-coded this, and this is the angle side congruence theorem, right? And we have a red angle here of 35 degrees and a blue angle here of 50 degrees, and then the corresponding side of the 35-degree angle, the adjacent side, the opposite side of the 35-degree angle. And it says, hey, complete the steps to describe how to construct this angle that is congruent to triangle TWM using the angle side criteria. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to use a straight edge, right? Going to use a straight edge to copy line TW. Right, so I'm going to just go ahead and copy line TW, and it's 5.2 units. This 5.2 units is actually like 5 units, 5 centimeters. I'm going to copy it right here as 5 centimeters. 5 centimeters there. Okay, and this is going to be T prime M prime, or W prime, W prime, W prime, W prime, W prime. Okay, and then we're going to use a compass to copy the angle. We're going to use what angle we're going to copy. Well, I'm going to copy angle T, right? So I'm going to use a protractor. Use my protractor here to copy angle, compass to copy angle T. Well, I'm going to use a protractor, right? So I'm copying angle T here, right? And it says, yep, definitely is 50 degrees. So bring it around over here. I'm going to copy angle T. Maybe zoom in for you so you can see it a little bit better. All right, so I'm going to copy angle T, and I'm going to put it here right at 50 degrees. Right, and I'm going to draw that angle, and I'm going to maybe make it orange. I'll make it blue since it's going off the 50-degree angle. Right, so angle 50 degrees here, and I'm just going to make it a dotted line because I don't know how long that line is going to be. Okay, and then I'm gonna copy angle T. Copy angle T here, and then I'm going to use another angle to copy angle M. Right, I'm going to construct that angle. I have to construct the angle so it is congruent and it passes through the point in which it passes through this point right here. So I'm going to slide it up along this line until the 50-degree mark or the 35-degree mark passes up and through here. So what it's going to look like is I'm going to make it right here, okay, and I'm going to take like another card or something like this, and I'm going to put it right at the 35-degree mark, right, and I'm going to make it right here, and then I'm going to make it so that the 35-degree mark line up my mark right here, line it up here, and then I'm going to slide this over so that this makes 35 degrees right about there. Right about there. And I'll make this my red line, my red triangle. Red triangle. I'm just gonna right about there. Okay. It goes through point D. Alright, so, up here is my point. So I need to make it so that my W here, actually I need to make this so that it goes through my point I need to make it so that this 35-degree angle here is 35-degree angles. It's 35 degrees. That's the wrong 35-degree angle. This is 35 degrees. I need to slide it until this meets that. That's what my issue was. Yes, 35 degrees here. And I'm going to slide it until this point here meets up with the end. So I need to make it meet 35 degrees. And then I'm going to slide it up and along my line here until it meets my line right there, which is pretty much right here. I didn't make my blue line long enough. I marked my card. So let me go ahead and mark that better. 35 degrees. 35 degrees, put it on my line. Okay, 35 degrees is right there. Okay, and then I'm going to mark it right about there. Right about there. And then I'll mark my card right here. So I make a line right there. That's better. This line was wrong. Right there. So this is M 35 degrees right here. That is M 35 degrees. And then this is my 50-degree mark. 50 degrees. Right, and then this was opposite. This is my 5.2. 5.2. Okay, and then I can make this straight and solid. Just like that. Okay, so now I should be able to measure. I'll go ahead and measure, or I can use some patty paper. See how well I did with patty paper. On my original, I always forget to grab that. Okay, so this is my original. I'll go with orange. Sure, go with my orange one. So this is my original one here. And we'll see how well I did it. Got two there. Let's see. This is my original. And we have to kind of like flip it like that. No, let's see how we did this. I kind of like deflected it. There we go. And that is my final. Right, so looks like I matched it up pretty well with my my congruent triangle there. Okay, so not too bad there. Okay, so that's my T prime and my M prime right here. So, yep, so I used a compass or a straight edge to copy TW, and I labeled it, oh, I should have labeled that N and D. See, I should have labeled that N and D, N and D, and then I constructed an angle, construct a congruent angle using a point as N as the vertex. So N as the vertex should have been my angle. That should have been the vertex. So that is right. And then use a compass, a couple M, construct angle so that one side goes through point D. So what is this angle? What is this supposed to be here? First, doesn't even give me like what my triangle is supposed to be. TWB. Okay, so moving on. All right, so now we're going to go on to this next one here. Okay, we have this next one is we have a so this is our triangle. So we have N was our 50-degree angle. Oh, I'm going to pause this. My phone's ringing. All right, so the next one is this is the triangle that she drew, and it looks a lot like my triangle, but it says what tools did she use to draw this, that they're congruent. Well, she could have used a ruler. She could have used patty paper. She could have used a compass. She could have used a protractor. Those are the tools of the trade for geometry, for geometricians. If that's a word, I'm not sure or not. Okay, so moving on to the second page. I can't zoom out anymore. I guess I'll just do this. Okay. All right, so now we're just going to be checking out to see if these triangles are congruent, and by what postulate did we say that they're congruent. Okay, so I'm going to pause this, and then I'm going to mark them up while I'm paused, so I'm not you guys are watching it. So I'm just going to pause it for a second. Well, I thought there'd be value in actually having you guys watch this while I mark them up, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to kind of zoom in on this one here. And the first one is asking if LZ is congruent to NS. All right, so this is LZ. This is LZ. And then we got to find where NS is. And NS is right here. Okay, so if I have NS, this is it's like the bottom part of this right triangle. Okay, so it's the bottom part of a right triangle. And I can even measure these things too. Let's see, what am I? I'll even just use a compass for this. Here we go, I've got a compass for this one. Okay, so I got my compass here, and I'm gonna just check to see how to make these the same length here. Okay, I got a compass. I'm gonna see if NS is congruent. Oh, this is the given information. So they're telling me that LZ and NS are congruent. So these two are congruent. They're telling me that CZ and GZ and SG are congruent, and they're telling me that the angle of LZC, so the vertex is Z, and the NSG, the vertex is S, is congruent. So are these triangles congruent? Well, you can see that we have two sides, and the angle in between two sides they're similar triangles, and that they are congruent. So yes, this angle is congruent because of the side angle side, the side angle side postulate. So there you go on that one. Or since this is a right triangle, you could also say it's the hypotenuse leg triangle. So you could say that this is a right triangle, and this angle is the same. So you could say that the opposite side of that one is true, or you have a right leg triangle, the hypotenuse and the leg are congruent. So you could say that you have the hypotenuse and one leg of the triangle are the same. Okay, so I'm going to move on to another one. Okay, so we have PTY. So we have the angle PTY with T being the vertex, and then you have BFW, BWF with W being the vertex, and you have YP, Y and P, and F and B, and then you have angle TYF, angle TY being the vertex, and W, and then you have WFB, WFB being the vertex. Okay, so are these two triangles congruent? Well, we have two angles, angle, an angle, an angle, an angle, and then this side and this side are both the same corresponding sides on a triangle that are opposite the same corresponding angles. So yes, this is because of the angle side postulate. All right, so let's move on to a different one. All right, so now let me this is number 5 was blue. All these were blue. All these were burgundy. Okay, now let's go with green for these next ones. All right, so the next ones we have line segment VK. We got line segment VK. And then we have is congruent to X and D. Got an X and D. And then we have line segment M and K. M and K is congruent to D and R. Okay, so those are two congruent ones. And then we have K, V, M, V being the vertex, and DX and R being the vertex. Well, this is like a side angle. This is a side and angle. Well, this is not a one of the postulates, right? There's no side angle postulate. So this is a no. This is not necessarily a congruent triangle. Okay. All right. So next one we're gonna do is a pink one. We'll go with a pink one, and we have C and Z. We have CZ, and then we have is congruent to G and S, G and S, and then we have C and L, or C and L, congruent to G and N, G and N. Well, this is a right triangle with a hypotenuse, and a leg, Well, yes, that is, because that is a hypotenuse. That's a hypotenuse leg. Hypotenuse leg. I don't need the hyphen. Hypotenuse leg congruence theorem. All right. Now I'm running out of colors. Let me try orange. Orange. Okay, next I have M and V. M and V is congruent to X and R. Congruent to X and R. And then I have K and M. K and M is congruent to R and D. All right. And then I have X and D is congruent to Y and K, or that's probably supposed to be a Y, a V and K, I believe, because there's no Y and K, because Y is right here. That's probably a typo. That's supposed to be V and K. V and K, because there's no Y and K line. So that's supposed to be V and K, not Y and K. All right, so that's a big yes, and that's because of the three sides that are all the same. That is the side. Yeah, so there's a typo on here. This says Y and K, and that should be V and K, because Y is all the way up here, and there's no line Y and K, so it should be V and K. That's a typo. All right, and then finally we have, let's see, I'll go with blue again. I'll repeat blue. And then we have VMK. I can hit pink. I can use red. I haven't used red yet. All right, so I have VMK. I have VM. M is the vertex. They have XRD with R as the vertex. Then I have VK. VK is right here. I have VK. And then I have is congruent to X and D. X and D. Running out of ink on this red one here. X and D. And then I have M and K. M and K. M and K. I guess I'll go back to burgundy. M and K. I'm gonna pause it. I got someone at my door. I got M and K congruent with D and R. So this is a angle side again. So this is a big no again. All right. So hope that helps you. And if you have any questions, please let me know.